Hello everyone, this is Heather and I'm back with another video. Today I'm doing something a bit different and I wanted to share some of the cameras that I use for my scrapbooking. And because my channel is mainly about scrapbooking, photos are really important to me, and photography has always been something I love. I think my passion for photography was initially stemmed by my passion for scrapbooking, and they really build off of each other. So along with photography comes cameras, of course. So I wanted to go over how I use my different cameras that I own. So right now I'm filming on my Canon Powershot. It's my regular camera that I do film with. So I will show you that one later, and I'll film on my iPhone while I show you this camera, if that makes sense. You'll see later on in the video. But I think I will start with my iPhone because this is my secondary camera. I take most of my day-to-day photos on this phone, and I do use my larger camera for events. If I go somewhere, I bring it with me. If I'm ever traveling, I bring it. I do some travel videos on it, but everything else I do with my iPhone. So really everyday videos, I rarely do take, everyday photos I use this for. I rarely take videos on this phone. If it happens to be something exciting that I didn't bring my larger camera for, then I will videotape it on my phone, but mainly I use it for photos. So this is the iPhone 5. It has an 8 megapixel camera and it does shoot in HD video. That's 1080p at 30 frames per second. I looked all that up. I did not know that when I purchased this. I just got this phone because I wanted the iPhone. So that's how this works. So that's a bit about what I use the iPhone for. Next you see my Fujifilm Instax Mini 8, and I've had this for about a year and a half now. I got it as a wedding gift from a couple friends, and I love this camera, but I really haven't used it as much as I want to. The photos that this takes are better outdoors in my experience. I find you need quite good lighting for this camera to get a nice shot. There are a few different settings on it here. You can see you just turn this dial when the camera is on. So to turn it on, you just press this button and the lens pops out and you can hear the flash loading up. It makes a bit of a noise. So typically a orange light will appear, there it is, at the suggested setting. And you can still change it. So this little house implies that it should be being taken indoors, or it requires indoor flash, which I am indoors, so that makes sense. And then this is the trigger button to take the photo, and to turn it off you just push the lens in. It's really quite simple and I love the simplicity. It shows you how many shots you have left in that little area. And this is the film refills. So this is a 2-pack, so there's 20 shots in here, 10 in each refill. And typically these sell for about $1 per shot is what I found here in Canada anyway. And based on online prices, that's pretty accurate too. I bought this on using a coupon at Michael's, which is why I got that deal. Typically it's more expensive, but I wouldn't want to pay more than $1 per shot, I don't think, typically, whatever I can find it for. So that's a bit about this camera. I use it sparingly, even though I do have more film, but I really want to use it more. When I am using this, I typically take a photo with my iPhone first to frame the shot so I can get an idea of what it will look like, and then I take it with this camera, looking through the viewfinder, of course. So that's just a good tip if you want to make sure your shot will look good. There is a printer that I believe it's made by Fujifilm, and it takes the same film. So this printer you can print directly from your smartphone. So you take the picture on your smartphone, but then print it on these developing instant film papers. So that's another cost-effective way if you really want to make sure you get a good photo with this expensive film. But it doesn't have quite the same vintage-looking quality as it would with this camera. I'll insert a couple pictures of the film and some photos that I've taken using this, and on my blog I'll show some examples of how I've scrapbooked those if you're interested, so make sure you check the link below this video to find the blog post about this. So this is my GoPro camera, and my husband and I bought this for our trip to Vancouver earlier this fall because we were going kayaking and we really wanted to get some fun footage of that. So I'll insert some kayaking footage right here that you can see that I took on this camera. And so this is the GoPro Hero. It shoots in 1080p at 30 frames per second, or it shoots at 720p at 60 frames per second, which is better for slow-mo, I've read. And again, I don't quite know what all the technical terms mean, but just from what I've read, it is a good quality camera. This is the cheapest GoPro you can get, so it doesn't have the settings that some other GoPros do. Certain models you can get, I think it's Bluetooth capability or Wi-Fi, I'm not sure, but it connects to your smartphone, so you can see there's no screen to see what you're shooting, but other versions of this will connect to your smartphone and show what you're taping from this camera, and it will show on your screen of your phone, which is quite cool. This one of course doesn't do that, but it is a rugged body and it is waterproof and it's pretty shock proof as well. It shoots in a really wide angle. It's almost fisheye sort of. You can remove that in editing software. It's quite simple to do, but it is a really neat look as well that's quite well known for the GoPro. You can also take burst shots, so that takes 10 pictures in 2 seconds, or you can do time-lapse shots, which takes a picture every half a second, I believe. So that's really cool too. We've mounted this on our dash of our vehicle before on the inside, and have taken a picture every half a second as we're driving through the mountains, and that looks really cool all strung together too. We also we did some beach and ocean video with this, which was really fun in Vancouver Island, and put it in the ocean and had water splashing over it, which was quite fun. We also do a lot of off-roading videos, so for that we have a special mount. It came in this bag, and it's the suction cup mount. So I'll just show you what that looks like. There are tons of different mounts for the GoPro, which I think is really interesting. So this is the suction cup, and you just use this part, and it suctions to almost anything. It's really quite cool, and there's different arms and attachments you can get to angle this however you want. There's a few more attachments that came with it. I'll just show you a few. Here's some of the elbows and pieces, and extra thumb. This is sort of a safety so that you can make sure that it doesn't fall off. Our foot recently just got broken. It's missing one of the legs, but this piece fits right in there so that the clip can't come out of whatever it's attached to. So it clips right into there. If that makes sense. It's a lot of parts, but it's very fun. And for this GoPro, we also have the chest strap, so it looks like this. This part goes over your shoulders, this part goes across your back, and this part goes around your body, and it just clips here, and you can mount the GoPro there. So that's a fun one too. There are tons of other attachments for this, which makes it really versatile and fun. So if you're interested in that, you should definitely Google some more attachments. It's quite a cool camera. This only cost us about $160 just for the camera, which I think is really inexpensive and cost effective for what it can do. You also have to buy an SD card, which is a little bit more, and all the attachments are quite pricey investment. The chest strap, I believe, was about $50 or $60 Canadian, and the suction cup would have been maybe about $50 as well. So yeah, it's a bit of an investment, but the camera itself is very cost effective, and you can buy more expensive models, as I mentioned before. Okay, so now I'm going to switch over to videotaping on my phone so you can get a look of what that video quality is like. And I'm also going to talk about this camera that I'm using right now. This is my Canon Powershot camera. It's an SX30IS model, and right now I'm filming on my iPhone. The audio quality wasn't what I wanted it to be. It was very quiet, so I'm just doing this as a voiceover. What I wanted to mention about this camera is that I've had it for about 6 years, so it's lasted me quite a while, which I'm very happy with. I really like the image quality. It is a bit better than a point and shoot in my opinion, but it's not the quality that you would get from a DSLR camera, where that has interchangeable lenses that have specialties. So for macro close-up or for far away shots, I don't know the details of it because I'm not a photography expert, but basically this camera can do what I want it to, and it can take close-up and far away shots. It has 35 times optical zoom. It records in HD video, which is, I believe, 1080p or 720. And it's a 14.1 megapixel camera. There certainly is better models out there now because it is so old, but I still like it and it works for me. I like this lens cap, how it has a clip so I can easily attach it to the strap that the camera body comes with, and this screen flips out and I can twist it so that it is safe covered in there, or I can flip it out and twist it forward, which is really great for the videos that I create, which you'll see in the next clip how I have that set up, or it's great for taking selfies as well if you are able to use your left hand to take the picture. What I mainly use this camera for is taking photos of new places or travel photos. I do get a lot of use out of it, and I use it for all of my project photos as well, so I really enjoy this camera. And now I'm just going to go into a clip of my setup. Here we go. So as you can see, I've got my tripod sitting right on my craft table in my studio area, and as I pan upwards you can see the camera is mounted right on there. I don't have it on an arm like some people have used because my tripod doesn't have that capability, but it works for me. I just need to zoom in a little bit so that the legs of my tripod are not in screen, and I flip out my screen conveniently so I can see what I'm doing. It's really awesome, and I like how this setup works for me. I think in the future I would definitely like to add an arm to the tripod or get a tripod with that capability. This is the camera case that I typically use for my Canon Powershot. I got this when I got the camera, so it is quite old as well, but I really like the compartments inside of it. So my camera fits in this main part quite well, and this piece is Velcro adjustable, so that's really convenient. In this area, I either keep my battery charger for my Canon camera, or I keep the GoPro in there, as it fits really nicely too, as you can see. And there's also room for other accessories. I have before, when I'm just using this camera, it's unlikely that I take this somewhere that I'm not taking my other cameras, but it fits in here as well, and the film refill fits nicely in there, so that's convenient. So this camera case really is just well-rounded for everything. I keep some of my spare pieces in here. I've got different cases for my SD cards, and different converter pieces in there, just anything really small. In this zipper pouch, I have the cables for both the GoPro and the Canon camera, as well as just a cover for my battery. And in these end pockets, I often keep GoPro accessories in there if that's what I'm carrying around. So that is the case that I use. So those are the cameras that I mainly use for my photography in my scrapbooking, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. As I mentioned, please check out my blog post because I'll have more written information and some project samples that I've done over there, and that's linked below in this description of this video. Please also check out my Instagram and Pinterest profiles. I'm StayBeautiful84 on both of those as well. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you. Have a great day.